Xcel is preparing roughly 50,000 of its customers across the Front Range for the possibility of planned power outages tomorrow. The utility's latest map shows the shutoff could impact the West Metro area, a few areas southeast of Fort Collins and between Loveland and Longmont. Xcel says it could cut power beginning at 10 tomorrow morning. It's all because of strong winds in the forecast combined with high fire danger. Within the last 15 minutes, Jeffco Public Schools announced they're canceling class tomorrow. 6 campuses in the Poudre School District will also be closed. We'll keep updating those on our website as they come in. For now, we're going to throw things over to 9 News Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin with a closer look at these really scary conditions.
That's right. It's a result of climate change. We've had this prolonged period of warm, dry weather, drought in December, and now another big wind event. Extreme winds coming in, humidity values in the teens and single digits, winds over 90 miles per hour. This is the second windstorm we've seen in less than 2 weeks. And the temperature trend, today we were close to 70 again, and this marks the 8th day in the month of December where we've seen temperatures above the average of 43 degrees in the 60s. It's all really wacky and weird. This is not the pattern we should be seeing. And unfortunately, it's setting us up for critical fire weather tomorrow. A weather impact alert will be issued because of the extreme winds that could take down trees and power lines, create blowing snow in the mountains, and also create that fire weather that will go beyond tomorrow. But the red flag warning is out for tomorrow. Denver, Boulder, Greeley, Fort Collins, a high wind warning. We could see gusts to 90 miles per hour. On the northeastern plains, the winds will shift out of the northwest, and we have a high wind watch. We do have a little moisture coming into the mountains, but that snow will be blowing snow, and the travel impacts on I-70 will be great as well. We'll have the timing and impact of all of this coming up.
High winds can bring potential damage along with them.
So let's go to 9 News reporter Janelle Finch on the west side of town. You've been talking to folks preparing for those strong gusts tomorrow.
For some Front Range communities, tomorrow will bring the second windstorm over the last week. We found one person still recovering from the first round of strong winds.
When wind picks up, Dustin Ostrander gets down to business.
Sometimes we do a little bit of fire mitigation and tree work and cleanup, and primarily we do decks, basements, bathrooms, and kitchens.
He owns Ostrander Construction Services in Blackhawk. He says he had multiple jobs last week related to high damaging winds.
We had a customer who had a tree go through her master bedroom window. We had another customer, a previous customer, who had a tree fall on their house and take off, I think, a half a dozen shingles.
He says those jobs were in Idaho Springs and Nederland, but the storm still found a way to hit close to home.
True. We had a tree that blew over on one of the cars that we had here for another project that we were going to build here this month, but nature had a different outcome.
And that tree is still on that car?
It is still on there because I haven't had time to get it off. I've been dealing with everyone else's stuff. So
Ostrander says more extreme wind in the forecast has him on alert. He says he's keeping an eye on his property and his phone line.
I have job sites that I got to be out to, and we're preparing the wind for that. Like we have porta potties and things that we got to make sure secured down and material and things prepared for this storm. So that's where I'll be in the morning.
Even though the winds may bring him more work, Ostrander doesn't want too much destruction to blow his way.
I'm hoping that everyone has got their things secured and the wind has knocked a lot loose that needed to, but I'm hoping people secure everything that needs to be so it's not as much damage.
Ostrander says that his electricity provider is United Power. He says he hasn't heard from the company about any possible planned power shutoffs tomorrow, so he's expecting that the day will be spent helping others if his services are needed. Live in Golden, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
And the conditions forecasted tomorrow wouldn't have always led to a red flag warning, but the experts at the National Weather Service have learned from previous events.
9 News reporter Colton Chavez joins us from Boulder tonight. And Colton, the National Weather Service says lessons learned from the Marshall Fire are directly driving their decision making.
Yeah, Kyle, when I talked with the National Weather Service, they say ultimately that's exactly what they're doing. They're saying the reason there's a red flag warning tomorrow is because of the lessons they learned nearly 5 years ago.
This is our graphical forecast editor.
When it comes to forecasting Colorado weather,
we break down wind speeds and wind gusts by hour out to 7 days.
The National Weather Service in Boulder considers every detail.
We're expecting very strong wind gusts tomorrow, up to 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the higher elevations. Along and west of the I-25 corridor, we could still see wind gusts 60, 70 miles an hour.
Jennifer Stark, the meteorologist in charge, says that's why a red flag warning has been issued just 2 weeks before the 5-year mark of the Marshall Fire.
So with the Marshall Fire, we had cured fuels, we had very strong winds, but the relative humidities remained kind of high. You know, in that case, we didn't have a red flag warning out.
Details that have changed when they issue a red flag warning because of the lessons learned.
Maybe the relative humidities are slightly above 15%, which they will be tomorrow. We're thinking like 17 to 20%. But there's so many other factors that are going to be overwhelming that if a wildfire were to start, it's going to spread quickly. It's going to be hard to control, hard to contain.
Details that Stark says helps keep Colorado communities safe.
Every event needs a critical eye placed to it, and then we have to look at like the antecedent conditions, what has happened before the wind event.
She says when it comes to forecasting Colorado weather, the science has to change with the weather.
We're not saying static. We're able to, make changes that make improvements, hopefully.
Stark tells me that the red flag warning, well, it's exactly that, a warning, a possibility, a chance actually, to remind communities to take safer measures and to be prepared if anything were to spark up. Live in Boulder, Colton Chavez, 9 News.
All right, so weight yourself down tomorrow and hang with 9 News and 9 News Plus for the latest on the wind and its impacts. You can also download the 9 News app for free in the Apple and Google Play stores.